Imagine a man and a woman wear beautiful clothes, invite family members, spend money, dance, and everyone says, "Congratulations, you are now husband and wife." Years later, they go to court and the judge says, according to the law, this marriage never existed. How can something people celebrated and believed in for many years suddenly become as if it never happened? That is what lawyers call a void marriage. Today, let's understand it in simple language. What is a void marriage? A void marriage is a marriage that the law does not recognize at all. It's like writing on water. No matter how much you write, after some time, the writing disappears because there was no solid place for it to stand. Another example is building a house on a sand. The house may look beautiful, but because the foundation is bad, the whole building is bad from the beginning. This is exactly what a void marriage is. The problem was there from the first day. So, in the eyes of law, it is as if the marriage never existed. I want you to listen to this story. I want to use it to explain this in a very simple way. Let me tell you a story. Emeka married Ada in church. Friends and family celebrated with them. They lived together for many years. Everyone knew them as husband and wife. But one day, Ada discovered something shocking. Before Emeka married her, Emeka had already married another woman under the law. Remember what under the law means? In a licensed church or in registry, which is statutory marriage. And the first marriage was still existing. He is still married to the first woman. Emeka never divorced his first wife. Ada became confused and she went to court. After looking at the matter, the judge said, a second marriage is void. That is the marriage Emeka had with Ada. Meaning, in the eyes of law, Emeka and Ada were never husband and wife. Not because they fought, not because they stopped loving each other, not because there was legal problem from the beginning. Cause of void marriage. The first cause of void marriage. One person already has a wife or a husband. This is one of the most common causes. Suppose Mr. James married Mrs. Grace under the Marriage Act. As long as that marriage still exists, Mr. James cannot go and marry another woman in church or registry. If he does, the second marriage is void. Does it make sense? Why is this so? This is because under Nigerian law, one person cannot have two statutory marriages at the same time. The first marriage must end through death or divorce before another one can begin. Meaning that before you marry another woman, you must divorce your wife or your husband before doing so. If not, the second marriage is empty in the eyes of the law. The second cause of void marriage is close blood relations. God and the law does not want certain people to marry each other. For example, a man cannot marry his mother. He cannot marry his sister. He cannot marry his daughter. These people are too closely related by blood. Even if they conduct a wedding and invite everybody, the law will reject their marriage. Why? Because such relationships are forbidden. Therefore, the marriage becomes void. The third cause of a void marriage is failure to follow the law. Marriage has rules. Just like driving a car has rules, marriage also has rules. Suppose important legal requirements are ignored. For example, the marriage was not conducted according to the law, or people who conducted it has no authority to do so. Do you understand? The law may say that the marriage is invalid. In simple words, if the foundation is wrong, the whole building becomes faulty. The next cause of void marriage is no real agreement. Pay attention. Marriage must come from free will of both parties. What do I mean by this? Nobody should be forced. Suppose a young lady is threatened and forced to marry a man she does not want, or a person is mentally ill and does not understand what marriage is. There is no true agreement. And where there is no true agreement, the law may say such marriage is void, because marriage must be entered willingly and with understanding. Effect of a void marriage. Now, what happens when a marriage is declared void? The law treats the marriage as if it never existed, notwithstanding how many years you have spent with such a person. It does not mean you people never live together. It simply means the law does not recognize them as husband and wife. This is the effect. Is divorce needed in a void marriage? Pay attention. Do you need divorce in court to end a void marriage? Many people think divorce is needed, but no. No is the answer. Divorce is only used to end a valid marriage. But a void marriage was never valid in the eyes of the law or in the first place. So there is nothing to dissolve. Instead, the court gives what lawyers call a decree of nullity. This simply means the court officially announced that the marriage was invalid from the beginning. It is like confirming what people thought was a marriage was never recognized by the law. What about children in a void marriage? Pay attention. I mean the children both of them had in that void marriage. What happens to them? Many people became afraid and asked, what will happen to the children? The children are innocent. The law does not punish children because of the mistakes of the parents. Children born from such relationships still have rights. They deserve food, don't they? They deserve education. They deserve love and care. They are human beings and should not suffer for the mistakes of adults. In conclusion, I want to add this. Pay attention. So, my people, not everything people call marriage is recognized by law. Some marriage look beautiful on the outside, but legally are empty. They are empty. This is why before entering marriage, people should ensure they follow the law. This is because it's very painful to spend years believing you are husband and wife, only to discover later the law says marriage never existed. A wedding ceremony can make people clap for you, but only a valid marriage can make the law recognize you as husband and wife. I want to advise our women a little. Some men, you are in debt in this void marriage, know what they are doing. Before you know it, such a thing will happen and the marriage will declare non-existent. That is never existed, and the man will leave you and go and marry another woman. Do you understand? Before you do such, you enter into any marriage with any man, make sure you find out everything about him. Let him show you papers. And I want you to know that most men are not free for marriage, especially most of them that are married. Their marriage is sealed and cemented. What you are doing with them is a waste of time. Make sure you pay attention. If you are confused, lawyers are around you everywhere you are. No matter the continent you are listening to me from, meet them. Let them explain things to you before you enter into any marriage with any man, especially a married man. Especially any marriage. Be it customary marriage, licensed church marriage, registry. Pay attention and hear from a lawyer close by. You'll be surprised at the advice he or she is going to dish out to you. It is necessary you do that. Yes, I've come to the end of today's teaching. If you have something to add, put it down in the comment section. We are here to learn. Are you seeing me for the first time, or you've been watching without subscribing? Kindly subscribe to your sister's channel. If this video makes sense to you, kindly make sure you share it to your friends. Share it to your friends. A lot of our ladies are making mistakes here and there. They come to the internet and they are crying and wailing and shouting, but no remedy to that. Share it to everyone. Let them hear this. Let them know that there are marriages that never existed. Do it right. Love you. God bless you.